This is the Elevate Construction Podcast, delivering remarkable content for workers, leaders, and companies in construction wanting to take their next step. Get ready to step out of your comfort zone with Jason Schroeder as he encourages you to do better, live a remarkable life, and expect more. Let's go.
Welcome to the Elevate Construction Podcast, where we start you on an eternal path of learning and progress. My name is Jason Schroeder, and today's podcast is titled Fight the Biggest Baddest Guy in the Bar, and it's about how to maintain social dominance in a bar fight. Please share this podcast with anyone who has a habit of getting into bar fights. This is the shorter Superintendent series released on Tuesdays, and I hope that you're going to enjoy today's concept. So here it is. Today's concept is this. If you want to go in and show your dominance, you want to show your dominance as the alpha female or male, whatever the case may be, you want to get in there and prove that you're the toughest guy or gal, you're the biggest, baddest person in the whole gang and the whole group there, what you need to do is identify the biggest, baddest, toughest, most tattooed, craziest looking, like twitching eye guy that you can find in there, or gal, whatever the case may be. Find the biggest person and lure them into a fight and then absolutely whoop up on them. And once you've taken out the leader, then you can assert yourself as the dominant alpha, whether you're male or female. And that's just an eternal principle. Like anybody who's big into bar fights knows that that's how you do it. Like that is the concept. So when you go into a bar and you want to show forth social dominance, you take out, you fight, you identify, you absolutely just like mutilate the biggest, baddest guy in the bar. And that same practice holds true for master builders on the project site. When you begin as a superintendent, project manager, master builder, whatever the case may be, you tackle the most difficult area on the project and you dive right in until you figure it out. And this is played out over and over and over in the career of many people, in the careers of many people that I have observed over the years. Now, let me tell you a cold, hard truth. The bottom line is that you will be challenged to go from running a $10,000 project to a $500,000 project to a $3 million project to a $40 million project to an 80 to a 150 to possibly a $350 million project to 750 to 1.5 billion. If you continue to progress, whether it increases in square footage or whether it increases in price or whether it just increases in complexity, you will be asked to take your next step. And it can be scary. It can be daunting. It can seem impossible to go to that next step. And I know the feeling to go into a project and to think that it's too big, that it's bigger than you. What we have to remember is that we need to go tackle the most difficult area and we need to tackle that project bit by bit. But the first bite that you take is the toughest, most hard, chewiest part of the meat. That's the first part of that elephant that you eat. You don't go eat the nice, juicy, fat part and cook it up like bacon. You don't eat like the nice tender muscle. You go find the nastiest, most gristly, most disgusting piece of that animal that generations of human beings throughout the centuries have never dared to eat. You go eat that. You need to eat it, that disgusting part, like you were on the movie Alone, on the Netflix series Alone, or you're on Lost. Like you just go in there and dive in and you dig in, because eating the rest of the elephant will be more palatable and you'll be able to conquer the whole thing. You'll be able to eat the whole thing because your stomach is conditioned. You're not disgusted by it. You can go tackle it. Same thing in construction. You will have confidence and you will have the ability to oversee, to control, to run, to delegate, and to coordinate a large construction project or a complex construction project if you go tackle the most difficult area first. Now, let me give you a couple little fun stories or snippets here. So I have 11 children. Yes, I said 11. That's 10 plus 1 or 5 plus 6. 1. I have 11 children. And I can brag, and this is one of the things that I do really well, and I can brag that I can take all of them to Walmart and to go to the restroom at Walmart by myself with all of the children, and they will not touch the floor or the walls with their hands. they'll go to the restroom, they will wash their hands, and they will escape that restroom without getting any of the filth or grossness on top of them. And I did that when I had 2 babies in diapers. And so that is like an impossible feat. That's like climbing Mount Everest. Like literally, you guys should be praising me right now. I can do that. But the reason I'm telling you this story isn't to brag about my accolades in life. It's to say that once I did that, nothing else was very stressful. Taking them to the store or out to eat or whatever is like, I got this. If I can take them to a Walmart bathroom, like ain't no thing. Like it is not a big deal. And I've bragged about that for years now. And so that's the same thing. And if we can tackle the most difficult situation in construction, we can control and oversee and delegate and manage and coordinate the entire project. So again, I will say it one more time, and I've repeated myself a couple times, but I want it to stick in. Once you tackle the most difficult area, you will win. I was first taught this concept by a general superintendent that was building the Ontario airport. I have infinite respect for this man. I'll get him on a podcast interview in November. And he told me, he said, Jason, that was the largest project we had done in that district today. And it was huge. It was an airport. Anybody that's flown into any of these airports, you look at the size, the magnitude of these projects, you really start to grasp what it would take to build a mega project and get out of the normal size projects in commercial construction. He was the general superintendent in that district, which was credited for moving them from mid-sized projects into these mega projects. And he said, Jason, I tackled the most complex area first. In this instance, it happened to be the ticketing area where they had high ceilings and escalators, and he was putting together how he was going to build this facility. And once he had tackled that, everything else came clear, and they were able to win and build a remarkable project. I still remember when I came back from Germany in that same airport, remembering this same story. One more quick story. In a concrete structure, PT decks, concrete columns and walls, concrete shear walls, masonry, stair cores, and elevator cores, I remember we were on level 2 and everyone was focused on the decks. Even I was the director on the project. I wasn't the lead superintendent, but I remember being so proud that the lead superintendent was talking about this complex eyebrow, which is on the east side of the project. And he was constantly focused there. It took a lot of coordination. He was focused on the toughest area while everybody else was doing the common and typical stuff. By the time we got there, we were ready and we weren't held up by schedule. So proud of that superintendent. One more. This is the last little representative story that I want to talk to you about. There was a field director in Utah that was super proud of this huge mega project that he was a part of. He drove me down into this parking structure and he was like, Jason, look at all this. Look at the columns. Look at the precision. Look at the quantities here. We had this many crews and we were trucking and we were jamming. And he took me over to this hydraulic truck lift and he said, Jason, these beams, these beam sides, everything, we didn't know how we were going to get past it. So I dove in. I had them start prefabricating the beam sides. I had them start forming up the high bays ahead of time. And then by the time we had decks hitting over to that area, we didn't miss a beat. We placed that deck on time and kept our rhythm. I love it. These hydraulic truck lifts are amazing. And I'm a little embarrassed. I had never heard of a hydraulic truck lift, an elevator that takes big rigs, semis up and down. I'd never heard of anything like that. It was absolutely amazing. And he had focused on this complex area first because that's what superintendents do. That's what master builders do. And then they're able to conquer anything else on the project. So in closing, if you take down the biggest, baddest guy in the bar, everything else will seem easy. So I just want to close by saying there's no need for superintendents to fear, which happens. There's no need for superintendents to fear using P6 or do their master schedules. Just dive into it. Tackle the most complex area first. Everything else will be easy. There's no reason to not say yes to your next big project. Go tackle the most complex area. Everything else will seem easier. So get started. That's my challenge. Get started. Don't wait. Dive in. Leave in. Tackle the most crazy area first. It will be done with your peaks of mental energy, discipline, capacity. And then when you're starting to wear down a little bit, that's when you want things to stabilize and be a little easy. When you're fresh on a project, that's when you want to take down the biggest, baddest dude, right? You don't want to wait till you're tired and you've already fought 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 smaller guys. You want to take down the biggest, baddest person when you have the most energy. That's in the beginning of the project. I hope this concept helps you. This was taught to me by some of the best generals in construction that I've ever met. So please use it. The concept here would be for you to be able to take your next step and feel confident in your roles to go do remarkable things. In closing, if you have any questions, you want to reach out to me. If you want to give feedback, please reach out to me at jason@elevateconstructionist.com or reach out to us on LinkedIn or Facebook. And here's a specific question. What can we do better in these podcasts to make it more remarkable, interesting, and valuable for you? Please leave that in the comments. Please leave a review, hopefully with 5 stars. Please email. We want the feedback. We want this to be a sustainable podcast with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of episodes that you can text out, that you can send people, that you can share, that you can give to your trades, that you can listen over and over to sharpen you in your career. Let me just say one thing. This is supposed to be shorter, but I think this is super important. I was on a superintendent channel, I think it is. What are they, Reno, when you're on Facebook? I think it's a group. Yes, it was a superintendent group. And there was somebody said, "What would you give me by way of advice? I'm a new superintendent." And like 80% of them were like, "Run, get out of the industry while you can. It's a nightmare. Go be a PM, then cash out." And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. That is so sad. These people have been given or have chosen experiences that were negative, and they could have lived a remarkable life. They could have run remarkable jobs. They could have really enjoyed it. And that comes with education. So I'm hoping that this helps. These Paul Akers books, they're going to help you. Patrick Lencioni books, they're going to help you. All of these wonderful, beautiful techniques, they're going to help you. Lean is going to help you. Integration is going to help you. If we do these things, you can enjoy your role and be healthy as a superintendent. On we go.
Please join us next time in elevating the entire construction experience for workers, leaders, and companies coast to coast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to share with your construction colleagues and help us spread the word by rating, subscribing, and leaving a review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you next time on the Elevate Construction Podcast.